Hey guys, so I'm going to just go over real fast the last part of your note, well, this section, talking about the Djenne-Djenno um, civilization and the location of it, and then tomorrow we are going to cover one section, and then the next day we'll cover the last section. So Um, it's really difficult to tell you when there will be a test over this because I don't know. Um, it's, I mean, I can give it to you over the internet, but I really don't like doing that. But whatever we have to do, we have to do. And if there is a test that comes over the internet and you have to do it online, then um, there will be no time limit on that. Okay, so all right, let's get started on this. So the Djenne-Djenno, it's a region just south of where the Sahel was. So if you remember right, you have the Sahara Desert, and that's in northern Africa. And the Sahel was like the grainy texture that's breaking from the desert into the grasslands, into that type of environment. And most Africans lived in small villages, but there were cities that started popping up everywhere and they started to develop, and they were along rivers usually, and you could probably assume why they were along rivers, so they could have water sources. So if they were growing any type of crop, they could get that water and they could take it back in buckets, and they were just close to where they lived. um, the Djenne-Djenno, it was uncovered in 1977, so literally not that long ago, but it's kind of long ago. It feels like it wasn't, just like the 90s feel like it was like 10 years ago, but those weren't 10 years ago either. Um, so this ancient city was uncovered back in the 77. It's located near the Niger River in West Africa. But this picture that you're looking at right now, this is what it looks like today. So this ancient city that existed back in like 600 BC, it's still there, and people can still walk by it. People can still see where maybe their ancestors lived. So it's very neat. Um, so, like I said, up here you have northern Africa, and you have where the desert, the Sahara, would be, and then you have where the Sahel would be. And right along here in Mali, this is where the city was located. So it was in between Mali and Niger, and you can see this water source right here. So they lived by this stream where they could transport water back to their cities. Um, Scientists also uncovered hundreds and thousands of artifacts that um, was left behind in the Djenne-Djenno. And those items are like pottery, copper, um, hair pieces like clips and ties that they would use for their hair, clay toys, probably for children, glass beads, and stone bracelets, and even iron knives. And we know that it's iron because they skipped the Bronze Age. That's what we talked about last time. So those are some of the artifacts that the archaeologists have uncovered that were left behind, which are really neat because not a lot of civilizations that once lived a long time ago leave so much behind, but they did. And it helps you understand what kind of people they were and how they acted or what they needed or what they wore. So the oldest objects that were found there dated back to 250 BC. So this is literally the oldest city in Africa south of the Sahara, which is crazy. So they believe that the city was abandoned sometime after 1400 AD. So, like, people left or migrated to a different area in Africa, or the civilization just fell altogether. So that tribe just didn't last anymore. But when the Djenne-Djenno was at its height, it